sensitive. Yes, it's true. Alligator tears cried over you, over you, over you, over you, over you. Run around on me, soon die without. Run around on me, I die without. Relentless, yes, it's true. My motor mouth, it runs over you, over you, over you, over you, over you. Run around on me, I'd sooner die without. Run around on me, I'd die without. Over you, 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 over you. Run around on me, I'd sooner die without. Run around on me, I'd die without. No hissy fits, mind my manners. I won't make a scene. Oh, over you, over you, over you, over you, over you, over you. Run around on me, I'd sooner die without. Run around on me, I'd die without. Rattled, yes, it's true. Alligator tears spilled over you. Run around on me, sooner die without. Run around on me, I die without. Run around on me, I'd sooner die without. Run around on me, I die without. Over you, 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 over you.
Here in the CD 1025 Big Room with Tegan and Sara. Ladies, all right, I'm going to read off some names here. Tegan and Sara, U2, Mumford and Sons, Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros, Old Crow Medicine Show, Sade.
All the people that were in my hotel room last night.
Oh, hey now, that's one big party. Esperanza Spalding, all nominated for a Grammy. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You guys nominated for a Grammy for Get Along.
Yeah.
Such an honor.
We were really excited, actually. I mean, we were very, very surprised. I told the story the other day, and someone actually was like, that can't be true. But we didn't realize we were eligible, or that we had been drop our name and our live record and DVD that we had done, that it was even in the running. So we came off stage, we just played with the Killers in M83, and I was like, checking the tweet feed, gonna retweet some fans, and there was all these tweets like, congratulations on your Grammy nomination, and I was like, what? And Sara straight up was like, that must be a mistake. And it took about 20 minutes, but when we finally all put our heads together and went to the Grammy site and saw that it was truly official news, it was really exciting. It was a really tough project for us because it was quite extensive. It was 3 documentary films, a live record. Like, there was just so many elements, and it was a bit of a labor of love. The budget changed a million times, and it took months and months and months. And so it was really exciting to be, acknowledged and recognized for that work. We did not expect to win. And Sara has quite a funny story about thinking that we had won, but then we didn't. You could tell it, Sara, if you want. People will enjoy it.
It's fine. You can find the story online. It's probably, I'll never be able to retell it as well as I did the first time.
You didn't attend?
No.
Why?
No.
Well, we actually were over in Europe, and we were doing promo, and so we got back like the day before the Grammys. But, I mean, not to diminish the category in which we were included, but
we have never been to the Grammys. It's a full on thing. It's expensive, and you have to buy tickets to go, and like all these things. And we
Sarah
just
knew we weren't going to win.
We
so
were
she was
only in
like,
the daytime.
Heck
We
no,
actually
I'm
weren't
not
going to be
going.
in the evening broadcast. Like our category was the first one announced during the
Wasn't good
daytime
enough for
broadcast. Like no, we just were like, it was sort of like maybe the first time we go, it'll be more of like we could actually put together like a whole thing to go and like
A
maybe
collaboration with Kanye.
No, you're annoying. It's like I have like an annoying parrot on my shoulder right now. No, it was more of like a when we go, I think we wanted to like be able to like really like do press and go to the parties and do the whole thing, and we just were like basically we were jet lagged and drank wine and sat on the couch. So it was second best seats,
Well, maybe Heartthrob will be nominated
Hope so.
next year.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed, right?
We really hope so. I mean, when you get the acknowledgement for something like this project, the DVD project, my mind immediately went to a place of thinking like, oh, okay, well they're aware of the project, and it's not that I didn't think that our other albums couldn't be eligible or wouldn't be recognized, but it just wasn't even in our stratosphere. Like I just wasn't even thinking about it, and now I can't help it. I'm just like, okay, well if they knew about the DVD, then maybe they would consider our record, something that could be nominated.
Yeah, very cool. So it's been a crazy 3 to 5 months for you guys. You're everywhere, touring with the Black Keys, touring with the Killers, playing every late night show, even daytime with Ellen. How cool is that? It feels like there's been more exposure this time around for you both. How are you handling it?
I think we're both really happy, and the thing that's been interesting is, we're used to having sort of like an onslaught of like press and obligations and shows and like all that kind of thing. But we've certainly seen opportunities that I guess are more what I would call like mainstream, like things like Ellen and some of the print press that we've been doing or photo shoots that we've been doing. We just never were in that world. I guess it's like the Grammys. It's like we just never saw ourselves as being like a super mainstream band, and to now sort of like have the recognition and visibility in those communities, or I guess on daytime TV for women in their 50s and 60s, to suddenly have like. Seriously, it's a whole different universe. Like we should have hit up that market a long time ago. Seriously. It was the most friendly crowd we've ever played in front of the Ellen audience.
It was really nice. But that was our intention making Heartthrob, was to try to expose ourselves to a bigger, wider audience and to definitely try to take a bite into the mainstream. It felt like pop music was really interesting and cool, and there was more depth to pop music, and it sort of was one of those funny things where for the last decade we've told everybody all of our influences, and we're like, we love Cyndi Lauper and Madonna and Depeche Mode and Pet Shop Boys and Kate Bush, and people would be like, well, that's not what your music sounds like, but that's what we grew up listening to. So it just felt like the time to make a more pop leaning kind of mainstream sounding record, but I think it's still got all the quintessential like core Tegan and Sara principles there, and so I think it's really resonating with people. And when you just listed all the things we've been doing, it made me feel a bit tired, but I think we've been doing this a long time, and it felt like the time to really push things before we're too old, like before we're just too tired to do anything, where it's like a press schedule or a tour just would be exhausting. We just thought, why not go for it? So.
Well, I definitely want to talk to you more about the new album, Heartthrob. How about another song first?
Absolutely, sure, yeah. We'll play a song called, are we doing I'm Not Your Hero?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll do a song called
You're the
I'm Not
band
Your
leader,
Hero.
you decide.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tegan and Sara, live in the CD 1025 Big Room.
Standing where I am now, standing up at all. I was used to seeing no future in my sight line, hanging on to parts of me, hanging on it all. I was used to feeling no future in my sight line. Sometimes it feels like they wanna remind me, send all those feelings after me. I'm not the hero, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't brave. I never walked the party line, doesn't mean that I was never afraid. I'm not your hero, but that doesn't mean we're not one and the same. like I am now, lighting up the hall. I was used to standing in the shadow of a damaged heart, learning all I know now, losing all I did. I never used to feel like I'd be standing so far ahead. Sometimes it feels what I recovered you lost, sending your peaceful arms to me. I'm not the hero, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't brave. I never walked the party line, doesn't mean that I was never afraid. I'm not your hero, but that doesn't mean we're not one and the same. Sometimes it feels like the side that I'm on, the first hand holds the longest stand. Sometimes it feels like I'm all that they've got, it's so hard to know I'm not what they want. Or sometimes it feels like the side that I'm on plays the toughest hand, holds the longest stand. Sometimes it feels like I'm all that they've got, it's so hard to know I'm not what they want. I'm not their hero, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't brave. I didn't walk the party line, doesn't mean that I was never afraid. I'm not your hero, but that doesn't mean we're not one and the same. I do my best to walk the finest line till I've had all that I can take.
Tegan and Sara in the CD 1025 Big Room. All right, so Tegan, you mentioned heartthrob, poppy, right?
Yeah.
A few minutes ago. I've always considered you two pop musicians. I have. Your music, it evolves with each album.
Sure.
Transforms a little bit. But with this record, my, oh my, you guys took a big step.
Sure. I mean, it felt funny, like when we first put out Closer, because people were really like, oh my God, this is so different. This is so this, it's so that. And again, it sort of lends itself to what I was just saying about, like, I feel like we had like dysmorphia when it came to like what we actually sounded like. Like, I actually really have always thought we were making pop music, and people are like, no, you're folk, or you're rock, or you're this, or you're that. And so I think that for me, just like songs like Alligator or Back in Your Head, it's undeniable that it's pop music. But I think really what people are picking up on is the production of the record, and it's just a lot more glossy and a lot more smoothed out, if you will. But I think that was exciting. It was fun to do something really different and to challenge ourselves. And Sara and I have been making music so long now that, to go into the studio and just make the same old record, it would have felt, I don't know, it would have just felt kind of boring, I think. And after all these years, it's important. Sara and I still feel really inspired and challenged. And we were actually having a discussion at dinner last night with our support band that's out on tour with us about guitar music, and just like right now it's just like so not cool to play guitar, and as a girl it sort of feels like for a lot of years it was also not cool to play guitar. Long before it was not cool to play guitar, I always just felt like there was like stigma attached to girls who played guitars. It was like, oh, if you play guitar and you're a girl, then you're not going to be popular or something. And Sara and I always went against the grain, and we wanted to play guitar anyway. But it definitely feels like a time right now where people really love upbeat music and love those pop melodies. And, Sara and I, like I said, we just always grew up listening to pop music, so it felt like the right thing to do. So, and people have embraced it. I think we were scared for like maybe a half a second. People weren't going to get into it, but I think a long-time listener, like yourself, but a lot of our fans, I think they saw that natural progression happening. So,
well, what was the inspiration behind Heartthrob? What was the starting point? Was it a song? Was it a feeling?
I think it was actually just the conversation, like talking about how we sort of had felt about sainthood. And
like our previous record, and was there territory that we could sort of like get to by changing the sound slightly. And I know that for myself, like on an artistic level, I love the Con and I love Sainthood, but I know that I had a tendency to want to move away from some of the aesthetics of really like punk rocky type songs and like heavy guitars. Like there was times where we were all rocking guitars on stage, and it was feeling it was really fun, but it had definitely moved away from the kind of like creative inspirations that I was taking from my life and some of the music that I was listening to. So I think those kinds of conversations, and then just aspirations and goals that we had for our career, that sort of set us on the path to actually write the record. But yeah, like, I mean, in terms of like, hearing a song first and thinking like, this is the direction we should go, it was much more premeditated. Has sort of a negative connotation, but I think it was premeditated. We really actively tried to push ourselves to do something that would feel totally different.
Well, job well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a great album.
Thank you.
I do.
We love it.
Let me, a listener, Becky, wants to know about the writing process. Do you get more accomplished by sitting down with the intent on writing a tune, or does it come to you spontaneously?
I think all writers will agree that it just depends. Some days it's that you feel an itch, like you have to scratch it, you have to sit down and write something, and sometimes it's something you labor over quite a bit. You almost like force yourself to write, and then other times it's just you're in a groove and you're just writing all the time. I mean, there were points when we were writing Heartthrob where a whole week would go by and I would just be working on song after song after song, but then 2 weeks would pass and I would look at my guitar or my keyboard every morning and be like, nope, not today. So it just depends. You hear this all the time, that writing or creating, being an artist, it's like a muscle. You have to like work it to get it to be good and strong. And so I think it just depends on our life. Right now we're touring all the time. The last thing I really want to do is play music. When I'm done a tour, I get home and I'm like, let's watch TV, let's ride bikes, let's do this, let's do that. I'm not like, I really want to just play guitar. So it just depends on where you're at.
Speaking of TV, some big news.
That's right.
A couple of days ago, right?
Yeah.
Closer's going to be featured on
Glee. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, we don't have many details to pass on, so we can't tell you who's singing it or.
You have no idea?
We don't really have.
We kind of have we have a rough idea, but I can't allude to anything.
But actually, we find out the same way everybody else does. Like about 2 weeks ago, on the message boards, there were people talking about it, and we internally as a group were like, "How did they find out already? Like, we don't even know when it's going to come out." So it's sort of one of those things where they're it's like a pretty tight ship in terms of like who's going to sing what and which songs are going to.
Well, apparently not if it's on the message boards.
I mean, these people are obviously some kind of weird insiders. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, set your DVR.
Yeah.
March 14th it airs, right?
Yeah. And we're really
Next
excited.
week. Wow.
Huge fans of the band. And Ted, who's playing with us today, huge fans of the show. And Ted, who's in our band, who's here today, who some people can see and some people can't, he was friends with Corey Monteith, who's like the star of Glee. And so before the show even came out, he brought Corey to the studio. And after he left, Sarah and I were like, what a lovely guy. I hope his show does okay. He seems like a really deserving fella and really talented and whatever. And then next week he was like a massive superstar.
We were seeing his face on billboards.
Like he did not need our good luck. So anyway, it's really great. It's like come full circle, and now we're going to be on their show, and that's so awesome. And
very cool. Yeah. Heartthrob, the name of the new album, sold out show tonight over at the LC Indoor Stage. Tegan and Sara, how about another song?
Sure. This is another track from Heartthrob. It's called I Was a Fool.
How I climbed your city's walls. Do you remember me as the vow? How I prayed for your cause. I stood still, it's what I did. Love like I was just never fixed. I stuck around. I did said you every time. I was a fool for love. I was a fool for love. I was a fool. I was a fool. Then you blame me and block me out. How long did you think I'd last?
many times could I pack? But stand still is all I get. Love like ours just never fixed. I stuck around. I did beside you every time. I was a fool for love. I was a fool for love. I was a fool. I was a fool. If you're worried that I might have changed and left behind all of my foolish ways, you best be looking for somebody else without a foolish heart, foolish heart. But stand still is all we did. Love like ours just never fixed. I stuck around. I did beside you every time. I was a fool for love. I was a fool for love. I was a fool. I was a fool for love. I was a fool. I was a fool for love. I was a fool. I was a fool for love. I was a fool. I was a fool for love.
Tegan and Sara in the CD 1025 Big Room, sold out show over at the LC tonight. So quite a few dance-friendly tracks on Heartthrob. You've worked with some big-name producers, superstar DJs like Tiesto. Is it David Guetta?
Getta.
And Morgan Page. How have they helped influence your sound over the past couple of years?
I remember when Tiesto sent us tracks to work on what would eventually become Feel It in My Bones, our collaboration with him. I remember sending him what I thought was like a great first pass, you know, like it sort of had like the rough structure that actually is the song now. But I remember his response was so straightforward when it was sort of like, yeah, cool, so write some better choruses, like just more. Thanks. And I remember like Tegan took some passes
So then
at
Sarah
it.
took out the parts that he wanted us to replace, sent it to me, and I took a pass at a bunch of choruses, and then he wrote back. And it was so funny because he was like, oh yeah, I like this idea, we'll put it in the bridge, but now write a chorus.
Yeah,
like,
just write more.
Like a soaring chorus, you know? And
we had never been the kind of people to revise. Like we just did it. I mean, I think in some ways there was a self-protection, you know, mode that we would go into, and I think that was what made being, I guess, sort of part of the indie rock community that we were a part of, and working with the kinds of producers that we had worked with up till that point, very safe. It was sort of about protecting the songs and really sort of like honoring the original arrangements and some of the idiosyncrasies that we've become known for. But I think some of that also didn't necessarily strengthen those songs. Like I would now approach our previous like material and albums totally differently. And I think that learning to rewrite and learning to edit yourself and learning to challenge yourself and walk away from a song and come back and readdress it is probably, you know, what helps sharpen your songwriting skills and being able to sort of like see it in a bunch of different ways. And so those experiences with the producers and the DJs that you mentioned, there's no subtleties. They're not looking for subtle melodies. They're not looking for one idea. They're looking for a bunch of ideas. And it really challenged Tegan and I to both, I guess, like think outside of the box when it comes to songwriting, that it's not wrong to try to make it better. And it's not wrong to try 10 more ideas and realize, hey, I think I actually liked the first idea best. So we took that approach with Heartthrob a lot. We did a lot of rewriting.
Which electronic artist do you plan on working with next? Daft Punk?
Yeah. Oh my God, that would be a
That would be
dream
really
come
great.
true. Yeah, just even a photo shoot with Daft Punk, I'd be
Right?
into.
Right?
Agreed.
Do you have anything in the works?
We actually, we have a bunch of stuff that's sort of floating around and some collaborations, but nothing that's officially being released anytime soon. But we consistently work with other artists, and like a wide spectrum of types of artists. Like I just had 2 songs come out on Lisa Loeb's new record. So like, you know, we definitely aren't picky about the genre, but we're very specific about the actual music. So, and we're very busy right now, so it's hard, you know, we're getting offers and it's really tough to have to say no. But I think that no matter who we're collaborating with, or, you know, no matter how much we like the artist, I think it's very important you sink yourself in 100%, no matter what. Even if it's just a collaboration, I don't want Sarah and I to ever put our name or our energy into something we don't 100% believe in and feel from, you know, our little emo hearts. So yeah, nothing that big. Am I missing something? I don't think we do have anything coming out, right? Okay.
You do have a release coming out for Record Store Day, though. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we did a special vinyl release, or we're going to do a special vinyl release with, I think it's 10 remixes of Closer. Even Ted, who's here, the imaginary.
I noticed that, Ted. That's awesome.
Yeah. He was like, can I do a remix? And we were like, sure, Ted.
So is that like
we got like 50 remixes
type
and his
of
is awesome.
remix? Is it a house remix? Is it a drum and bass?
What
do
kind
we
of
got
remix,
going?
Ted?
None of the above. Okay.
It's a weird organic
the
remix.
thing that I
Ted
really
says.
like about the thing that I really like about Ted's remix is that a lot of the stuff that comes in is more like sort of like club remixes and things that are going to get played sort of I don't know. I mean, that are like meant to like amp up the crowd. But I love electronic music that is probably much more like lo-fi and a little bit more abstract. And like Ted and I probably share some of the same interests in certain types of people, like Fortet and like more like, I guess, deconstructive type of electronic music. Am I doing
More
an
like
okay job?
Yes, Ted. Thank you. Okay, so I'm Ted's
Ted
publicist. So what Ted likes to do is a little bit more in line with that sort of like genre.
Well,
Ted also hit on something. I think the reason why we really loved Ted's mix too is that a lot of people send you even crazier, ravey, like dance remixes, but Closer's already a very upbeat song, so we tended to gravitate towards a lot of the ones that were a little more, as Sarah said, deconstructive and you know, maybe amplified different elements of the song. And it's already such an upbeat remix that we thought it would be really cool to see the darker side of the song, because there is a darker edge to Closer. Like there is that nostalgic, like fun, upbeat part of the song, but then there's also, like, if you really read into the lyrics, there's sort of it's deceiving, because the song's actually about a relationship that does not come to fruition. It's about the like looking back and thinking, man, I wish that had happened. And so I think the remixes that tended to lean on the darker side ended up appealing to us. So, and we will release that on iTunes as well. So it'll come out both. But yeah, the record store day is awesome.
April 20th. 10 remixes of Closer. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Ted can't wait, you guys. He's going to be huge.
I can't wait to hear Ted's
breakout
remix.
star Ted. Watch out.
Yeah.
Ted's going to leave us. He's
All
going
right.
to be making
One final
remixes.
song.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, I guess we'll play Closer.
We're gonna play Ted's version of
Ted's
Closer.
version of Closer. You ready, Ted?
Give it up for Tegan and Sara.
All I wanna get is a little bit closer. All I wanna know is can you come a little closer? Here comes a breath before we get a little bit closer. Here comes a rush before we touch. Come a little closer. Doors are open, the wind is really blowing. Night sky is changing overhead. It's not just our physical. I'm the type who won't get all so critical. So let's make things physical. I won't treat you like you're all so typical. I won't treat you like you're all so typical. All you think lately is getting underneath me. All I dream of lately is how to get you underneath me. Here comes the heat before we meet a little bit closer. Here comes the spark before the dark. Come a little closer. Lights are off and the sun is finally setting. Night sky is changing overhead. It's not just our physical. I'm the type who won't get of you and me. Here come the dreams. It's not just our physical. I'm the type who won't get oh so critical. So let's make things physical. I won't treat you like you're all so typical. I want you close, I want you. I won't treat you like you're typical. I want you close, I want you. I won't treat you like you're typical. I won't treat you like you're typical. I won't treat you like you're typical. All I wanna get is a little bit closer. All I wanna know is, can you come a little closer?
Give it up for Tegan and Sara.
Remix.
Live in the big room. Sold out show tonight over at the LC. Hey, if you didn't get your tickets, the twins will be back with fun July 14th over at the LC Festival setting. Congrats again.
Thank you so much.
Heartthrob.
Thanks for having
New
us.
album.
Yeah.
Go pick it up today. One more time for these ladies.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much, you guys.
And we return things to Command Central.